Hello, I am here to share about my sleeping experiences, or the things that my parents told me I did. So, when I was a kid, I used to share the same bedroom with my parents, and our beds were pretty much next to each other. This would mean that my parents were like security cameras that watch over me as I sleep. That being said, did you know that there's this thing called REM sleep behavior disorder, or RBD for short, which basically makes people act out their dreams? Now, I don't think I have this. However, there is a time my mom told me that I would constantly change positions when I sleep. But you might be thinking to yourselves, isn't it normal to change positions when you sleep? Well, yeah, but in my case, my whole body just starts to move to a different position every few minutes. I think the only explanation for this is I was dreaming that I was a clock. Or I was probably possessed by some sort of demon. Thankfully, that only lasted for around a week, or I would likely bother every person I slept in the same bed with by constantly spinning around like a lunatic. The next one happened to me because I'm just a heavy sleeper. And I know this because when I asked someone to wake me up at a certain time, they would just fail to do so. Pathetic. Well, not actually, because at first I thought they just weren't trying hard enough.
Get your ass up, bro. Get your ass up!
So I decided to ask people to just shake me so I could just wake up in time. But to my surprise, even that didn't work. Which makes me feel like I'm in this trance when I don't get 8 hours of my beauty sleep. I just won't wake up. Heck, you could probably use me as a training dummy, and even that wouldn't wake me up. So this happened to me quite a few times now actually, where I just happened to find myself waking up underneath my parents' bed. Wait, what? I told you guys before that my bed and my parents' bed were next to each other. But what I didn't tell you is that my bed was just a mattress on the floor all along, while my parents' bed was like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, if it was a bed. Well, not exactly, but it's enough to fit me underneath. Now I have two theories on how I ended up there. The first one was me dreaming about becoming a tumbleweed that was just minding its own business, which eventually rolled underneath the bed. And the second one, which I believe is the more likely of the two, was I got dragged down there by the infamous and terrifying monster under the bed. Since, he probably got lonely down there. Now, this last story is actually something that amazes me, because I find it very convenient. So you guys probably heard of the term sleepwalking, right? Where someone in a deep sleep decides to get out of bed and probably do something that a sleeping person shouldn't be doing. Well, you see, I, on the other hand, do the opposite of that. Because when I sleepwalk, I don't go out of bed. No, I go to bed. Then I would body slam the bed like a WWE wrestler. Well, maybe not the body slamming part. But I'm not joking when I say that this would happen to me most of the time that I fell asleep on the couch. I say most of the time because those other times I probably got carried to bed like a baby by my dad. Then as I grew up, he probably couldn't carry me to bed anymore since he wasn't working out or anything. But if he was, you bet he would. But then again, since he wasn't, they had to guide my sleepy ass to bed. Which is basically the equivalent to guiding a drunk person to a cab and then falling down at the last step, since most of the time, I wouldn't even make it to the bedroom. Because I would just lay on the floor, thinking the whole floor was my bed, and then I would grab my dog. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I had a dog. He was a Shih Tzu Terrier mix. He basically looked like a small furry pillow. So I'd grab my dog thinking he was some sort of cushion. Luckily he didn't bite or anything, but he did continuously lick me, which was meaningless because, like I said, I'm a very hard sleeper. So here I am waking up on the ground, drenched in saliva, thinking it was sweat, and wondering why I'm sleeping on the ground It's honestly a never-ending cycle. So that's it. End of the story. See you on the next video. And don't forget to stay hydrated.